Good morning, Tim. Moses, confirm you can hear me.
Morning, Franklin. You are loud and clear.
All right, thank you. Yeah, good morning once more. I just needed to confirm that you can hear me. Let me take this opportunity to welcome all of us into our training this morning. I want to request that we give ourselves some few minutes. Meanwhile, let's reach out to our other colleagues to join, so that we can begin at about 5 minutes past 11 or 7 minutes past 11 thereabouts, depending on the number of participants who will have joined. But I'll request that we reach out to the other colleagues to join, please. Um, Moses, can you confirm we could start?
Well, Franklin, we are close to, let me see. We can give them let's say some 3 more minutes up until let's say 10:10, 11:10, and then we start.
Okay, so that's noted. Yeah, Moses, I guess we are good to go now.
Yes, Songok, we can start. I think with the quorum, we can
Yeah.
get started.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, good morning. Good morning once again. My name is Franklin Songok. I work at NASCO PSI unit. I do support HIS, and let me take this opportunity on behalf of the team to welcome all of us into our sensitization meeting. Today, we'll be focusing majorly on return to care ML. So we intend to sensitize all the system level users on the enhancements for the upgraded MLIIT model, and also introduced to you the RTC ML model for users, for you as a user to effectively adapt, implement, and over and above all, sustain implementation in healthcare. So allow me to share my screen so that I can take you through the agenda very quickly before we begin. So just give me a minute. Moses, confirm you can see my screen?
Yes, Songok, your screen is up.
All right, thank you. Yeah, so this is the agenda for today. I think I've already sort of talked about the call for sensitization, and our specific objectives really are: one, to learn the requirements to update on the new ML models, understand how to update the Dockerized MLIT model, how to check and ensure the models are running, to understand key configurations to update for the models to function, and learn post-model update checks and tasks, ensure successful generation of machine learning risk scores, because I think we've had in the recent past, we've had lots of challenges in terms of generating outputs for risk score. We have clients who are not assigned any risk score at all, or they are unknown. So I think we'll also be able to guide you on that, and also just clearly share with you the enhancements that have been done to be able to resolve such instances. And of course, we'll also be able to guide you on how to access the risks so generated from the various reports, and how to use or how to utilize the risk scores generated for purposes of clinical interventions. So this is basically the topics that we'll cover today. So Moses will take us through a very short slide deck, just introducing the nitty-gritties in as far as machine learning is concerned, focusing on the implementation updates and opportunities for improvement. Then Rajab will come in to take us through the technical ML IIT update process. That is looking at access to the updated ML IIT, the Dockerized file, processes of updating and validating the ML IIT, the global properties setup for ML and ML for IIT and RTC. Post-module updates, like the tasks, ETLing, the WAPI tables. You'll also be able to take us through generating ML IIT risk scores, and then log reviews and checking on the progress. After that, Joang will take us through the risk scores, focusing majorly on the patient homepage, care panel overview, active on ART line list risk score summaries, and missed appointment tracking report. Finally, Andreen will be able to take us through the Taifacare release model, looking at the enhancements that we've been able to do, and it's just focusing on the revised Taifacare Kenya EMR version release model generally. Then after that, we'll be able to take some questions and probably respond to your questions, and also guide you on what are our next steps. So at this point, I want to request Moses Care to take us through the first part of the presentation. Moses, once you're done, hand it over to Rajab. Then Rajab, once you're done, you hand it over to Ajwang. Ajwang, once you're done, you hand it over to Andre. And as I do that, I want to request all the participants that if you have any questions, we have a pool of members who are in this call who are available to respond to any of your questions. So please do not hesitate to ask any question on the wall as the sensitization is ongoing. Of course, we'll also be able to give you an opportunity at the end of this the end of the presentations and the walkthroughs for we'll give you a very short, a short Q&A section for you to ask any questions. So I want to request Moses to take this up, and Moses, I may drop off at some point because I may be a bit engaged. So kindly, if I drop off, you will assist to moderate until the end of the session at any point that I'll drop off. So Moses, over to you, and you're most welcome.
Thank you, Franklin. Yeah, I think my role here today, I'll not go through a slide deck, but mine is just to introduce ML and also just to discuss, any updates and opportunities for improvement. So I'll just want to talk from the top of my head. I hope it's clear now to a majority of us that we've been implementing EMRs, especially in HIV care and treatment for over 14 years now, I think, largely. And our coverage is now in over close to 2,500 facilities. And the 2,500 facilities basically account for up to, let's say, 95% of the HIV burden in Kenya. So that means that we already have enough information and data that we've collected from disparate facilities. And most of the times, when we started, the purposes of us utilizing the EMR was just to was to help with the easing of the reporting functionality for the programs. But again, over time, we realized that there was a need for more data and demand. And that's the reason why other products now, like the National Data Warehouse, were conceptualized and actually actualized. With the evolving in technology, not only in the health space but everywhere else, there was a need for all the industries to adopt and the utilization of artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence, basically, ML is a branch of artificial intelligence, and that's the reason why it is important even for us now in this particular field for us to also tap into what machine learning can be able to do, just to help improve on the patient outcomes and also on the care of service that we are giving to our patients. So there are two areas that three actually that we are currently implementing. One of them is in HTS. There's an algorithm that helps us in testing for HIV, which we will not be discussing today. But other than that, there's also we've also employed machine learning in predicting interrupters in treatment, what we call as ML in IIT, and also return to care. So our focus today basically will be on these two aspects, but largely on interrupters in treatment. Around April this year, there was a release that went out, and we requested that partners supporting the facilities assist in ensuring that all our facilities have been upgraded to that version, and which included also a Dockerized. We send out with an SOP. So this particular version incorporated the use of Docker in just trying to ensure that we are able to harness and maximize on the information that we are uploading to the National Data Warehouse. But from our analysis, the uptake of this particular version or even this feature isn't optimal, because even as we speak, we are the entire countrywide. I will not want to look at the individual partners, but countrywide we are suboptimal in this particular feature, and that's the reason why we thought it wise for us to just conduct this training so that we can bring everyone else to speed one, on what it takes to set up that environment, and two, um, from what we've seen, I mean, how you as a facility or even programs can benefit from this. So our training today is actually just fashioned to be able to achieve this, and that's the reason why I thought of not even just projecting a slide deck, but just talking about this so that you can all get to understand where we're coming from. So without further ado, I'll be handing the mic shortly to Rajab, who will be taking us through the technical ML, the machine learning IIT update process, which is going to be a little bit detailed. And that's the reason why I decided to just talk about this so that I can create enough room for Rajab to be able to articulate all the important points that we need to learn today. So I'll request that you allow me to welcome Rajab to just take this, and then we'll at the tail end of it probably we'll be able to take on any questions that you could be having. Rajab, if you can hear me, please, the floor is yours. Rajab?
Yeah, thanks, Moses, and good morning, everyone. Kindly allow me for some few seconds. Let me grab my charger. I can see my power is almost going off. Yes, Moses. So thanks. Moses, confirm if you can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you, Rajab.
Thank you. So, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being part of this session. So, I think for me, I'll just be going through one, the configurations that needs to be done in place, and maybe to also just highlight some of the components that we need to ensure that are in place before we even try to pull the machine learning and RTC reports. So kindly allow me to share my screen. Moses, confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, Rajab, your screen is up.
Thank
And
you.
I can see an SOP on setting up on okay.
Yes, yeah. So there are a couple of gaps that we probably noticed when setting up the IIT model. That is for the Dockerized version that we had shared the facilities, and maybe I just wanted to highlight some of the components that were actually missed out. So with this SOP, probably it highlights the step-by-step process that you need to undertake for you to be able to successfully install or rather have your ML machine learning model working as expected. So one is that these are the prerequisites, which ideally we need an internet connectivity to basically download the files and stuff and all that. So for this Dockerized version, you don't need an internet connection to be able to pull the ML as it was before. So ideally, we have bundled everything into one. That is, the model file, and then the Dockerized machine learning model, which has been probably been Dockerized so that you can just run everything within the same block. So with this, once you've managed to download the setup, so it's step by step. You will proceed. I'm sure all of us are conversant with this. So you proceed with installation and all that until you're done. So if you follow the SOP step by step, you should be able to set up your IIT model, have it up and running. So one thing that I want us to ensure is there is one thing that I noticed at the site level, so that whenever there is a restart or a downtime in terms of maybe power and stuff, so some of the sites, what we actually realize is that once the server has been rebooted, the Dockerized container doesn't come up. So one of the things that we got from the sites that we visited is that once you log into the machine, so you just need to ensure that your ML model container is up and running. So by this, you just need to make sure you do docker ps-a to just ensure that model is up and running before you even generate um, your risks. Then another item that probably we need to focus on, and this is whereby we also found some issues at sites, is on the global property configuration, most notably around the admin credentials. So I know for most of the sites, ideally when we are setting up, so we were using the admin and admin password as admin 123. But along the way, due to security enhancement, or rather ensure the sites are secure in terms of data, we then proceeded and changed the admin username and password. But then we fail to actually update the same on the global property. So what this will mean is that whenever the model tries to run, because it's using the username and the password to basically insert data into the DB. So if you have changed your admin password, so you need to make sure that you come to the global property again and ensure you update the same, so that it matches with your currently running properties. So with this, probably you just need to ensure that you have your credentials set up and they're running as expected. Then also another thing is just to map the URLs so that they basically mirror what you have here. So again, it depends during your setup. I know for some of us, if you don't change the setup, your ML will run on port 8000. But for those who usually go ahead and change, for example, you're trying to install and then you find that the port is actually being used by another application and you want to change the port. So if you change the port, that port, please ensure that you also update the URLs with the correct port that you have used for that particular installation, so that you can be able to probably pull your ML. So for RTC, it's just simpler. It's just the two-step process whereby ideally you just need to change these two global properties. And once you're done, we should be good to go in terms of the global property configuration. So I think with that, just allow me to go back to my setup. Sorry. As this. Yes. Configured. Hmm. Yeah, so allow me to just highlight on some of the components that I have just prescribed. So for you to now be able to configure the global property, I know we are all aware. If you are using the current setup, Mose, unaweza nimanage hii? See, there are a lot of guys.
Unmuted.
Naona kuna watu wengi wako kwa lobby.
Yeah, we actually from my end, I can only see one person who is stuck there.
Okay. So allow me just showcase this. So once you click on Legacy UI, if you are the admin, you should be able to go to that page. So one of the things that you need to do is you need to navigate to the advanced settings to just ensure that you have everything up and running. So you can just type machine learning. Yeah, so as you can see for mine, it's this. So for this endpoint, so for those facilities that are running the cloud setup, so I know there are those sites which are currently running on the multi-tenancy setup. So for them, you will find that their endpoint is different. So for those facilities, they're actually using the centralized version of the ML, whereby they're actually pulling this data centrally. So you'll find that for those sites, please, if you encounter such an issue, you can just reach out to service desk so that they update this particular endpoint for you. But for those sites that are running on the bare metal setup, so ideally you just need to follow the SOP and proceed with the configuration, except for the sites that are running on cloud. That is whereby you should be able to use this particular endpoint. And then you just need to make sure that admin and the password are correct for you to be able to basically generate your ML. So once these two features are up and running and they've been configured successfully, then you should be able to now proceed to your machine learning feature. So currently we are still having it on the legacy UI. So we haven't migrated it on the 3x platform, but something that is still being worked on so that we have everything on one interface. So just allow me to wait for it to load. Yeah. So with this, should be able to proceed to my machine learning feature. So I'll need to locate machine learning. So once I locate machine learning, you just come and click on under data management, you click on synchronize data. So once you click on synchronize data, it should open for you this page. So on this page, you will probably see the two ML components. One is the IIT, which ideally generates for you the risk scores. That is those patients who are actually prone, or rather at high risk, or rather at a risk of interrupting treatment. And then you have the second model, which basically pulls those clients who have probably, at a high risk of basically returning back to care. So we have these two. So for you to be able to proceed, you just click on generate patient risk scores. It should be able to generate the risk scores for you. And as you can see, it will generate the risk scores, and depending on the facility. So what we have seen with most servers is that for one particular record, one particular patient, it takes around 2 seconds for it to generate the risk scores. So depending on the number of patients you have in a particular facility, it does long this particular feature will run. So another thing that we usually actually recommend is that whenever you probably generate risk scores, it should generate risk scores not during the peak hours of the facility, because this will also affect performance of the system, since it actually consumes quite some substantial amount of resourcing. So for you to probably do this, you just need to run it when the site is not that heavy. During, for example, maybe in the afternoon, when at least we have fewer clients being seen at the site. So that's when we actually recommend that you should be able to probably generate the risk scores. So once you're done with generation of risk scores, so probably you will encounter this particular dashboard, whereby you'll see the total patients that you've been able to generate the risk scores for. Those who are at high risk, medium risk, and probably low risk. And if you want to see the risk factors, I think when Ajwang is taking you guys through his session, he'll probably highlight on some of the components around this, so that you also get up to speed what you're currently experiencing. Then the same also applies to the RTC model, which ideally shows you the total number of patients whom the risks have been generated for. Those that are at a higher risk of returning back to care, those at medium risk, and those who are at low risk. So probably this will basically assist you in where to put more emphasis in regards to patient level care, so that you can probably tailor specific care packages for the different cadres, or rather the different patients' risks. Yeah, so I think with that, once everything is running successfully end to end, so the next component, which basically I'll just highlight on just a high level, is now when pulling the reports, which Ajwang will also just showcase. But just to mention is that for most of the sites which we actually visited, we had an issue whereby they were saying they have generated the risk scores are generated successfully, but then again, they are not able to see the most recent updated risk scores, or rather the risk scores that are actually seeing on the patient chart that is on the UI, and the risk scores that are getting from the reports, they don't align, or rather they are different. So the reason why you're actually encountering this is, so for example, you've generated the risk scores today, which is 19th of June, but then again, you run your TXCAR for the month of May. So what usually happens is that the risk goes, rather, the data pool, rather the data fetch, it actually checks the period, that is the start date and end date. So for example, if you're running a report for the month that ends, let's say 31st of May, and you have generated your risk scores today, so ideally the risk scores will check up to 31st of May. So in any score that was updated after 31st of May will not be part of the report. So that's why for most of the sites, you find that your report doesn't tally with what you're seeing on the patient chart. So the patient charts pulls real-time data from the DB. That is, it pulls the latest risk scores regardless of time. So it pulls the latest risk scores. That's what will be displayed on the patient chart. But on the reporting, basically, it aligns with the end date that you have selected. So for example, if I've generated the risk scores today, and I want to see this reflect on the patient chart, so ideally, what I'd have to do is probably put my end date to today's date, so that I can be able to fetch the latest risk scores. I don't know. I think somebody might have clicked on generate risk scores. Yeah, that's why I was avoiding, because it is it kind of consumes some certain amount of resource. So that's why I think you're seeing now I'm not able to actually even see my screen. No, no, no. Mtu amenifanyia ile kitu. Sasa Moses, I'd like to pause there and probably open it up for any question clarification before we move to the next.
Thank you, Rajab. I think yeah, we can welcome any questions so far, based on what the presentation that you already made, as we wait for the server to respond. So you can either let me go through the chat. Q&A. You can either post your question through Q&A or raise your hand, and then we'll allow you to unmute and just voice up your question. Currently, there are no questions under Q&A. Can only see St. Anne Hospital who are saying they are not they are unable to see the shared screen.
I have just put down my screen right now. Just trying to see.
No, it was before then. Any question? If there's no question, is Dennis Osiemo on the call? I can allow him some few minutes to also just be able to make a presentation as we wait for the server to come up. Dennis, if you can hear me.
Yes, can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Dennis.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I'll ask my colleague Ken to present, but I can speak to the work that we're doing. First of all, thank you, Moses, Franklin, NASCOP team, and then also the Palladium team for this opportunity. We wanted to just give a brief presentation on some of the work that will work together with the machine learning module. Can you go to the next slide? So I think what we're doing is more of a pilot to complement the work the machine learning have been doing. As you know, as Moses and the team have talked about, they've upgraded the machine learning module. So what we aim to do is now, how do we optimize the utilization of the machine learning module to improve client outcome, to reduce treatment interruption, through providing differentiated support depending on the risk scores that are generated from the module. Next slide. Yeah, so I think this is where we come in is now, after the module has generated the scores, we translate this the risk scores into tiered SMS interventions that will go to the clients, because we know that the clients are different, the risks are different. So how do we prioritize those who are most at risk, so that we reduce the treatment interruption, so that they can be able to come back. Next slide. And as you're aware, I mean, the risk scores are high risk, medium risk, and low risk. And I mean, from data that we have, around 20% are high risk. So we provide most intensive support of 5 SMSs, reminders, as well as motivational SMSs. Medium risk 3, and low risk just the normal reminder SMS messages. Next slide. And in addition to that, we'll have like a two-way, SMS, which is different from the current Ushauri, and all this is riding on the Ushauri platform. So we can have appointment confirmation, follow-up for those who have missed, wellness check, and reschedule of the appointment, as well as touch base with the recipients of care to ensure that they're doing well, and if they have any issues, they can be flagged for follow-up by the facilities. Next slide. Just go to the next slide. And there'll also be tailored messages depending on the subgroups and the needs, so that we tailor the responses to the need of the recipients of care, be it new, pregnant and breastfeeding, adolescents, those who are returning to treatment, especially. We know that they are more at risk of disengaging, and also those who with comorbidities, hypertension, diabetes, AHD, and all those things. Next slide. So we'll use the existing Ushauri SMS consent framework. So there'll be no new consent process, and we'll just SMS clients who have consented, and the facilities will just follow the current NASCOP Ushauri consent process, and there's no new clinical workflows. Please go to the next slide. We have, this will be a pilot for enhancing the SMS follow-up in these 10 counties. We may, I think, include an additional one county after the discussion with NASCOP. Next slide. Yeah, I'll hand it over to Ken to just tell us how this will take place. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and good morning, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Maybe Moses, you can confirm you can hear me.
Loud and clear, Ken, but slightly move closer to your speaker.
Okay, how about now? Is that better?
That's better. Asante.
Okay, so I'll talk about briefly what we need to do to set this up. As Dr. Osiem has mentioned, most of these will be riding on the existing Ushauri platform, but there will be a separate portal for this, which we are calling Ushauri Plus, purposely for the pilot. So I'll take a few minutes just to show you what you need. So there's an installation bit that will need to take place, and also the demo, the pilot, the portal, sorry, that the providers will be accessing. So this comes in two components. One is a very light service that is installed in the facility. What that does is to just help with the queuing of the appointments. So for every client who has consented, the appointments will be queued in the Ushauri Plus platform. And then the other part now is where we have a portal or a dashboard where providers will be able to see what is happening, see the messages as they go. Again, this is a two-way platform where if there are responses, they should also be able to see it at that point. So what we really need for the installation is probably already taken care of. We need, this will run in facilities running Kenya EMR. And what this will do is just to pick the appointments that have been queued in Kenya EMR plus their risk classification. The other things already will be there, more or less the same things that Rajab had talked about when running the Dockerized model. I think if you already have the Dockerized model, then you already have all you need to be able to use this. The script that will be shared for installation, we have an SOP actually that guides on setting this up. It will mainly be one command that you run on your terminal. and it will prompt you for three things: the secret passphrase, the OpenMRS user, and the OpenMRS database password, which I know those will be there. We'll be sharing the secret passphrase. This is just meant for data security. And also, as we target the 10 counties, this will help in customizing this or having this accessible only for the 10 counties for now. That is why we have that secret. But the OpenMRS user and password are things that you already have that are already available in the facility. So that script will be able to run and configure a few things where there are dependencies they download and configure as well a scheduled job that will be running daily just to pick and upload appointments to the Ushauri platform. Once you install that service, you're able to also open it and see it. It will have like a portal where you can see what it's doing. So what you see on my right is how it will look like. You'll be able to go in and just see if your appointments have been scheduled or have been uploaded successfully. So you are able to see an history. Every day it will run once a day and just upload all your appointments. So you should be able to open on this port. So by default, it runs on this port 9162, which I believe is unique enough. It will rarely conflict with any other service. But again, it has provision to change if you need to. But so this is more or less the page that you will see just to know if it was successful. And we've provided this provision for manual upload in case of facilities where they don't have an internet like all the time. Ideally, for you to upload your appointments, you need an internet. So maybe at the point where you now have access to internet, you can just come in and pick a date range, say from this day to this day, and queue all your appointments at that point. And just to mention, these are only appointments for clients who have consented. So clients who have not consented will not be part of this. So the other bit I've mentioned is the second part is the portal. So it is something like this where each facility will have access, where they're able to go in and see like their scheduled appointments. They would be able to know how many scheduled appointments are for high-risk clients, how many are for medium-risk clients. Also, in cases where, say, the model didn't run successfully and there are cases where they are unclassified, they should also be able to know maybe there is one unknown client because they were not classified successfully. Where there are feedback or responses from clients, we have an AI service that is able to also sift through the messages, and where there is a message that needs escalation, maybe messages that maybe are suicidal or something extreme based on the message. Again, this platform is able to classify them, and so the facility will be able to see over here, like there are 2 new messages that were flagged that need escalation. Again, where client request to reschedule their requests, they should be able to come there as well. And later, this is a feature that we are looking forward as well, coming later on community engagements, which will be done through the community system, that is the ECHIS, where, say, a client is being traced in the facility, and in where information is entered in the ECHIS system, you should be able to get the same information here and allow the providers to act on. So I request to take maybe 3 minutes more just to quickly show these platforms live, even as I am. So let me just quickly show that. So I talked about the service for uploading appointments. So it would look like this. I'd mentioned that ideally the upload of the appointments will be running automatically every day via a job that is scheduled. But in cases where, say, there is no internet facility, again, the facility can come in and see the days where the appointments were not uploaded and pick a date range, say between 15 and 19, and then be able to do the upload. For now, I don't have any scheduled appointments between these dates. That is why you're seeing there are serial records. But ideally, where there was scheduled appointments in that period, it will be able to do that, and you'll know this was done manually for this day. And for all the other days, you can tell where the process was successful or if it failed. So that is the first part which runs in the facility. For the provider dashboard, this is running online. We will be able to share the link that will be maybe that the facility will be able to have access to. So again, each facility will have access, and when they log in, they'll be able to only see their information. It is we'll see multi-tenant running a portal that each facility can log in and see their data. So as well, they will be able to see the high-risk clients over there, the medium risk as well. They'll also be able to see their queued appointments, as I mentioned, for a given date range. Where there are scheduled requests, they should be able to come in as well and see those requests. And for that one, they can either approve or reject. And where they approve appointments, they'll be notified that the client will be notified that your request has been approved. But again, for the provider, they'll be asked to actually go into the EMR and reschedule that in the EMR, so that what the client has received and what is in the EMR is tallying. This is provide the feature for them to also be able to see the logs. So as messages go, they should be able to come in and know messages were sent for this client, and the status again where it failed. They should be able to know this message failed, and they should be able to search for a specific client, maybe using their CCC number. Same case for the chatbot. We mentioned that this will provide a functionality where clients can keep chatting via SMS. So they send a query, they receive back a response on that when they ask for a question. So chat-based SMS. So you should be able to come in here as well and see any chat history for the various clients. I also mentioned about the escalations where a message is flagged as maybe a risk that needs to be addressed. We should be able to come in and see any message that was escalated by our AI model and maybe respond to it, or where the provider need to act on it, we should be able to reach out to that client and take any appropriate action. Lastly, for the community outreach, I've mentioned this is not activated yet. There's some work still going on with the ECHI system just to allow the two systems to communicate together. But as soon as that is active, this will be activated. The profile management allows one person may be designated as a facility admin to give access to any other person in the facility who needs to have access. So we will designate one person as an admin in the facility who now can add any other user in the facility. So yeah, so that is the summary of this enhanced Ushauri platform. I'll stop there, and I think I'll pass it back to Moses. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Ken, and thank you, Dr. Osiemo, for that good presentation. Yeah, we had to break ice slightly before I bring in Joan. So we'll still request that if you have questions, you put them on the chat box, on the chat box, and we will be responding to them towards the tail end. So I'll want to usher in Joan to take us through the next session. Ajuang, if you can hear me, please come and now take us through the machine learning risk scores reviews. Ajuang, are you talking? I can't hear you. I can only see your screen.
Yeah, please confirm you can hear me. I'm trying to see if my earlier screens can work now that Rajab server has had a challenge. Just
Yeah, we can hear you. Can hear you.
okay. So I think as this comes through, I wanted to just make a couple of notes. So on this session, I'll be basically taking you through the user interface of the features that one Rajab showed us how to install and how to set up. Once you've set up, again, as Rajab nicely explained, you're supposed to synchronize your data, at which point then the models will update the client profiles with the latest information. So if that is done, then you'd be in a position to look at the RTC, that is the return to care model data that's available, and also the IIT. As you all know, IIT is basically just been revamped. It's been with us for a while. And so the new one, specifically in this case, is the RTC for us. So, okay, and someone take that. So I want I want to mention that I'll start with the RTC. So the RTC model currently is available to us to monitor people who, one, probably might have defaulted or will have missed their appointments. And for that reason, it's currently available, and it is available under the active on patient line list, and also on the appointment management, on the appointment missed appointments tracker. So if you when you run your active on patient line list, you are supposed to generate your line list in the normal way, and you will find the specific scores for RTC and IIT towards the very end. So if you'll see where my cursor is right now, just immediately after confirmation on the medical cover for our clients. The next one is the condition on the risk score, and also the risk categorization and the date on which that evaluation was done. So if everything works perfectly, like in this case, this first category, basically it conforms again to the same IIT modeling, high, medium, and low. And therefore, as providers, you take necessary interventions where the risk is high and where the risk is medium. So as you can see over here, you get high risk score. For this particular patient, I have one high risk score. That's my patient number 4. And that same patient is also at risk of returning to care. So that means currently this is a patient who has missed an appointment. Therefore, they are still classified to be in care. But because they've missed an appointment, there's also a very high likelihood that they are not likely to return to care. So that is the interpretation of this risk cause, as you can see. The other thing I wanted to mention is you're likely to find wait with that. You are likely to find cases where the risk score is 0 and the risk categorization is unknown, but you have a risk evaluation date. So what this means is that for this particular client, um, The main factors that are considered during the ML feature um, check were not met, and therefore, because those factors were not found within their profile, therefore the model is unable to assign them a correct risk score. And therefore, again, you can tell the categorization then becomes unknown. So that is one of the things that you might likely find. And therefore, for most of these clients, we are going to share, I think we've already shared the key factors that are to be considered when the model runs this. What you need to do is make sure that you've got all the correct details on the client profiles field. And the same applies to RTC. One other thing I wanted to mention here is that in the case of, of RTC, if you find a case, again, if you focus on my client number 5 here on this line list, this is one of those very few unique cases where, for some reason, you've run the model, but the model is unable to pick the client details in order to categorize them accordingly. So this is one of those few cases that we are still looking at. The reason why you are going to have dashes and there's no assignment on evaluation being done on the client profile. So allow me to turn to the next line list that you'll be using for RTC is the missed appointment tracker report. So the missed appointment tracker report, as you can tell, is purely concerned with clients who will be returning to care, who are at risk of returning to care. And in my case, with the database, the test database that we are working with, these particular clients are all active in care, and therefore there is no risk of them, they are in care, and therefore there is no risk of them falling out of care or not returning for that matter. So you are likely to find this to be available in cases where someone is already missed an appointment, and therefore is you are going to check whether on the likelihood of them returning to care. So unfortunately, this is one that we were not able to purely model based on the database that we are working with. In your facilities, you should be able to find many of your missed clients will be fitting on this profile. So allow me to then now go to the client homepage. So for my client homepage, I'll just go back and pick one of these clients with a high IIT. What's the name? Yeah, Karen Campbell. So when I go back home and make a search, okay, so this is my client. So on the patient summary page, this is where we are likely to find the additional details of their IIT. This is a summary, as you can see over there. When you turn to the care panel, and then from the care panel, you can see what programs they're enrolled in and so on. Turn your attention to machine learning. Okay, so this is our client is in care. So when you turn to the machine learning panel, then we get their IIT profile information. And in this case, our client who had a profile of a high risk is as a risk score of 66. And you can also tell the evaluation date. This is an evaluation that we ran today. And the key contributing risk factors are the number of days that they've been coming back within the last 5 visits, their adherence, their unscheduled visits, and so on. So you get all those results, those factors as contributors to to the reason why this client is classified as a high RTC risk. And then down at the bottom, you've got the chart. In this instance, this chart will keep populating for the different dates that you run the model. In this instance, you've run this for the first time, so you get the date 19, and you get the plotting of the risk score there for this particular patient. So over time, that plot will start to move and give you a general idea of whether the client risk is going down or is going up. So that's basically it. For me, Moses, the two reports, the two line lists that we are concerned with, ART line list, and also the appointment to give us information about the RTC, and then the general improvement on IIT to now start plotting and charting IIT risk scores for the clients, which is available on the homepage. Thank you. Back to you, Moses.
Thank you, John. I'm trying to go through the chat box to see if we have any questions. Before I hand this over to Andrin, who will take us through the next section. There's a question from Njoka. I think we'll address them towards the tail end. Njoka, two questions, and then Dr. Osiemo has responded to one. All right, I'll if there are no other questions, then I'll have Andrin take us through the last presentation for the day, and this is going to touch on the Taifacare versions. Just looking at the release model with regards to what is available with regards to ML in IIT. And then if you can hear me, please take this away.
Okay, thank you, Moses. Confirm you can hear me, okay?
Yeah, you are audible enough.
All right. So I'll take us away from the technical side, and for us to briefly talk about our release model. What we've been currently, how we've been currently doing our releases, and the proposal that we are making that we shall be looking into implementing going forward. So we are looking at improving how we avail the releases to our partners and users. So currently, as you know, we usually focus on heavy releases that at times take a bit of time to get out. So we are trying to strike a balance between that and how faster we can have Kenya EMR Taifacare evolve faster by getting features to the users quicker, and also by seeing how we can also improve in terms of having the fixes that are done into our system again get to our users faster. So the problem that we are currently solving is that our current model concentrates on infrequent heavy releases, whereby we bundle up many changes over a long period of time, coupling them together so that we do one release that covers majorly a diverse area. So that makes us have less frequent releases, but again, it comes with its own risks that we'll also be able to highlight and to see how we shall be working to seeing if we can address those risks, and as well strike a balance for partners and users who are not able to do the frequent upgrades to the system. So so again, with our current model, also you notice that it delays the fixes getting to users. It also becomes like it's a all or nothing kind of upgrade, whereby you either consume all the features and they are working okay, or you are prompted to maybe roll back all the features again to the last major release that maybe we had done. So what we are proposing is for us to now start adopting a more continuous delivery model that focuses on smaller, frequent releases that are not dependent on each other. For example, when you're doing the ML models, the releases for these products are not coupled together with the EMR releases. So we are able to do those separate. And again, we strike that balance that we say, like, it's not a must, not all releases that will be going out will be mandatory for everyone. But for those who are able to uptake them and upgrade their system, we are making these features and fixes available to them to update them. So that's the balance that we are seeking to strike, having features go out more often, having especially the fixes that are major and blocking the utilization of the system, getting to the users quicker, and also trying to strike that balance that we just remain with the major versions as the mandatory uptake for everyone. And for these other ones that are more frequent, may or may not be consumed by anyone who is not able to uptake them at that particular time. So again, the smaller fixes, the minor fixes, informs what goes into the major release. So one is able to make that decision whether to wait for the major release, which takes longer, or to go ahead and upgrade maybe a facility with a minor feature that they need at that particular time. So in terms of how we'll be looking into separating this, so we'll continue with our same format model, whereby we have the major versions. These ones are the ones that we are marking as major releases being versioned the same way. For example, we are currently at the process of availing a major platform upgrade version. So that version is 19.4.0. So the versioning for the major upgrade remains in this format, 19.x. The number that we will be at. Then following that, we'll now have other fixes or other versions that come into it, basing it, of course, on the last major version. So for example, if after this particular release goes out in the coming weeks, we have some features that are ready to go to production, we are able to version those out, and the version format will follow this. It will be now 19.4.x, then incrementally, but again basing it on the last major version. Then we have others. These include the patch and the hot fixes. This majorly touches around, for example, we identify a major issue in production that cannot wait for so long. And this issue, maybe it's ready and has been validated and is working okay. So we are able again to include that and have that part of and have a version with that patch or that hot fix going out to our users. So in terms of the timelines on how we are looking at it, we will still be working with the quarterly releases for the major versions. Then at least when it comes to the minor versions, these ones we are looking into availing this at most in a month's time, not more than a month since the last version maybe went out. So that's also can be accommodated. Then now when it comes to the patches and the hot fixes, depending on when these will be ready, we can have this go out to our users maybe on a weekly basis or as soon as they are ready and able to give out to the users. So the goal is to make the miner, the patches, and the hot fixes available to our implementing partners, to our users, and also not so mandatory that we are saying that everyone has to be on the miner or the patch or the hot fixes. Depending on the decision that is made, you are able to make that call whether you are in a position to upgrade or not. So anyone who is able to, they have it available and can be able to take it up. Yeah, so what this helps us with is to just get the changes out, the bugs fixed at a quicker turnaround time, and also to accommodate also feedback that comes along from some of the products that we give out. As you've seen, we are working at again further decoupling most of our products. You see, like for the models, they are now a separate product from the Kenya EMR or the Taifacare product. That also will help us to make that particular feature and product available separately without having to have a dependent on the Kenya EMR version for it to be consumed and for the uptake to happen. Yeah, so that would be it. That is the model that we are proposing, and those are the reasons behind it. Those are the thought process that have gone into it. So we request that you can accommodate it and also give us your feedback in regard to that. So for every version and for every release that we give, we'll be able to clearly stipulate what are the release notes and what are some of the fixes that have been addressed, so that it is clear, you are able to read through and make that decision. Is this something that I want at that particular time, or do you make the call to just wait for the major version to be available? Yeah, that will be it from me. Moses, back to you.
Thank you, Andrin, and thank you for, pointing out the new direction that our releases will be taking. I guess, that has been very informative. I still can't see any more questions on the chat box, so I'll probably want us to go to the next agenda, which is take on the call to action. And now that Songok is not in, I don't know if Songok managed to get back. If Songok is not in, Otieno, will you be kind enough to just take us through the call to action?
Yeah, thanks, Moses, and good afternoon, everyone. Confirm if I'm audible from your end.
Yes, you are.
Thanks. Yeah, so I think, first of all, I want to thank all the facilitators for taking us through the respective sections. I think just taking us back to the objective of this training. This training came about because of the reported underutilization of or the machine learning identified gap in the capacity to correctly configure these models in our system so that we could start utilizing them. So I guess this particular training has provided that needed capacity to be able to configure your Taifacare instances so that you can take advantage of these models in terms of the RTC and also the IIT. Yeah, so I think as part of the call to action, one is there is a release, version 19.4.0 that is coming up. The communication was sent yesterday, so partners should feel free to upgrade their instances. So as you do that, also take time correctly configure your models based on what we've learned today, and also for the Dockerized models, please be sure that you are able to correctly install following the SOP that Rajab has taken us through. Be sure that you are able to correctly install the dock and also be able to configure your Dockerized model properly. Yeah, so once this happens, I think still we'll be able to provide the links to the SOPs for doing this. If you don't have access to them already, we are going to post them, but you can also check on the Kenya HMS website to get the SOPs so that you are able to just follow that. If there is any challenge with this, please reach out to our service desk on the toll-free line so that they can help you also to just configure and be sure that you're able to utilize these machine learning models properly across your implementations.
And probably I'll want to find out if probably there are any representatives from let's say there are any representatives from let's say any Casco in the meeting who can make a brief remark on behalf of the Cascos. You can just raise your hand. Do you have any Casco in the meeting, or any CHRIO from any county? Looks like we are all facility and program staffs. Probably Dr. Osiemo, are you still in the call? So that you can just give us some parting shot and then.
Yes, I am in the call. I'd like to thank everyone who's managed to attend. I mean, it's quite a good turnout, and I think we look forward to working together with the 11 counties and roll out this update for the SMS together with the team as they roll out the updated EMR module so that we are more efficient, and hope that we'll ensure that better utilization of the scores so that we can be more efficient and reduce our treatment interruption. Thank you, Moses. Thank you, Palladium team and ASCOP and everyone who's attended. Really appreciate this opportunity. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Well, then I think I'll hand this over to Diana to just make some remarks even as we close now, and then close this for us. Diana?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me, Moses.
I can hear you despite the cold or the flu.
Yeah. So thanks for the opportunity. So mine is to thank everyone for your time to join this call. As Otieno summarized it well, there was need because of the experiences we've seen. There was some capacity challenges, especially surrounding the ML. So thanks so much for attending this session. I hope it was useful, and we can have work plans together with care and management. So, and thanks to the presenters for today. Hoping that the participants really got to pick quite a few things to implement after this. So we thank you for sticking around up to now. So in case of any questions, I believe we can post the number of the service desk so that if you encounter any challenges, we can be of help to ensure that you are supported well. So thanks, and back to you, Moses.
Thank you, Diana. And we actually, in the event anyone will be in need of any support, I think it's only fair that we also share the service desk numbers, and I'm sure. Let me just paste them on the chat box, and also all the links to all the materials that you might need. So before you end this call, please, you can just pick this from the chat box for your reference. and usage in the event you'll need eminent support. So, having said that, I think we would like to thank everyone for creating time for this, and we will be adjourning this meeting. But like I said, we have pasted on the chat box our support lines. You can feel free to even probably copy and paste them somewhere, because I'm sure after the end of this you will not be able to access them. Asanteni sana, and do have a good rest of your afternoon.